Hi, my name is Ashley, and I run the Instagram page Trap Pray Love. That is my company, Trap Pray Love. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience being on a full-blown antidepressant. So I'm going to be talking about, sorry if I keep looking down, I have notes that I wrote. I want to make sure that I get everything into this video because I know a lot of you guys that struggle with the same thing that I struggle with probably have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out. Of course, a school bus would like to go by right now. But so if this is the type of video that you're interested in, if you're interested in like why I chose medication, if you want to know how it goes, stay tuned. So for the first question, why I chose medication. I have experienced extreme panic attacks my whole life. I did not know that I was having panic attacks. I thought that I was just having asthma attacks. From the time that I was very young, I was diagnosed with severe asthma. And when I was a kid, I did have asthma really bad. Like, I was hospitalized a bunch for panic attacks. Like, that was my thing when I was a kid. I was a sick kid. However, as I got older and, around the time that my parents divorced when I was very young, when I was 5 years old, my asthma magically disappeared. However, I was still having like asthma attacks. So it's a very strange thing to think about in my situation. So what I mean when I say by like my asthma magically disappeared, when my mom left, and I don't want to tell too much of the story because that's not the point of the video. When my mom left our house, I was raised by my father, and it was me and my brother in the household. I wasn't being hospitalized anymore, but I was still taking an inhaler. I was feeling a lot of times when I would get really excited or something would happen that I felt like I was breathing through a straw. And people said that was, people that have asthma, they say that's like the indication that you're having an asthma attack, like your breathing is restricted. I know now that I was having panic attacks when I was young. Of course, when I would like breathe through my inhaler and everything, things would be okay. And then at the point when I was a young child taking my inhaler, your parents kind of sit you down. They create this kind of ambiance for you. Little did I know back then I was having panic attacks, and my parents were like, well, my father was helping me get through that. So as an adult, I consider myself an artist, so very creative person. So I've always surrounded myself around very creative people, very artistic people. Those are the types of relationships that I choose. Always just like moving through life on emotion and not like just how you feel at the time to just create just the most beautiful experience you can, right? That led me to constantly be around a lot of different personalities of people and a lot of people that necessarily weren't the best for me, right? And, I'm probably the hero or the villain in someone else's story, right? So this isn't like really about one particular person. It's just a group of things. I always found myself in life around people that were just like rolling with the punches and just very chaotic. And that's what I loved, like considering myself being an artist, right? So that kind of led me to my panic getting worse, my depression getting. And with that being said, I don't even have to really get into detail about like art and drug use, right? So there was a stint in time where I probably fucked with my brain a little bit by dipping and dabbing in psychedelics and things like that, my lifestyle before I had my child, before I had MJ. Now, MJ definitely changed my life. It wasn't a thing like when he was first born, everything was about him, but I definitely knew around the time that I got pregnant that playtime was over and that my life wasn't just about creating art, because that's what I thought my purpose was creating art. Now I really wanted to help build this human to be a great human. I did realize at the time, when I had my child, I had severe postpartum depression. So a lot of the things that I was dealing with before I had my kid, by the time I had him, it was amplified. And I had no idea that like postpartum depression and that, chemical thing that's going on in your body, it's just like no escaping it. So when I had my kid, I got into like a really crazy dark place, and my response to it, because I had the kid and everyone around me kind of praised me for how I handled it, was to just work very hard. And no one saw an issue with it. They're like, damn, you're getting back to work, you're doing the damn thing, you're being a great mom. But whole time I was really like fucked up. So after I had my kid, kind of a lot of stuff went on, went through a huge custody battle. Just like a lot of like, it was kind of traumatic thing after traumatic thing. There is a scientific study that is out there that says a person that goes through 4 traumatic episodes in their life are more likely to deal with severe anxiety and depression. And I just kind of had that one baked into my DNA because my mom and dad both deal with anxiety and depression on both sides, even like down to my grandparents and probably just before that. You know, Black people historically, we deal with a lot of shit anyway. And then just the kind of life that I was leading, just trying to like just figure shit out in my early 20s. The reason that I chose to be on medication was not entirely my decision. So I don't want to sit here and act like one day I decided to do this for myself. I had to be set the fuck down, okay? So there was a point in time when I was getting very fucked up at my house early in the morning and I almost overdosed and I was put on suicide watch. So not trying to laugh, not trying to bring light of it, but that is what happened. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was in the facility, I was vehemently denying any type of medication because I did not want to be a zombie. I always heard those stories. And one thing of me considering myself a very creative person is that I don't want my creativity being like dampened. I always hear those stories of like, it'll make you a zombie, it'll make you sleepy, it'll make you groggy, it'll just make you a shell of a person. And I was just like, fuck no. That is not going to be my reality. I'm going to do other things to get better. I'm going to talk to someone. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to just think positive thoughts. I'm going to do the whole law of attraction thing. But let me tell you something. I did all of that shit and I was still having fucking... It wasn't actually until one morning I was outside of my job and I was about to go in and I was just like, I can't do this. What am I doing with my life? I don't know what I want to do. What kind of person am I? And I was just having all of these like recurring thoughts. And I literally was like thinking myself into like a fucked up hole, like thinking myself into a pit. You know how some people can pump themselves up? I was just like deflating myself. And then like a thought just came in my head, like, bitch, you need some medication. Like whatever you're doing right now, at least just try. And I made up in my mind, like, okay, medication is the one thing that I haven't tried. I don't want to be on this earth saying like whining and complaining that I feel this way without trying everything. I want to at least be able to look at myself and I owe it to my kid to be able to say like, hey, I tried everything, even if it doesn't work. So saying like, just prefacing saying like, I came on to medication. So when I finally found a psychiatrist to talk to, there's a difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist can prescribe you medication. Here in Virginia, you can't be prescribed medication like over like an app through like Teladoc or something on the phone. So I had to physically find someone who was like 50 minutes away from me. And I had to go sit down and talk to him. I filled out a questionnaire and I was just like 100% honest about the things that were going on. And I was prescribed a antidepressant, and it also works for OCD, other mood disorders, and a few other things. I was prescribed Paxil. And Paxil, I started with 10 milligrams of Paxil, and that's the smallest dose. And he gave me Paxil and he said, take it for 30 days. After 30 days, we're going to come in and we're going to do a full physical on you because I want to make sure that there's not something else going on in your body that is making you sleepy. And mostly like the thing was too that was making my mood crazy is because I was not getting enough sleep ever. I've never considered myself a good sleeping person. I'm a light sleeper. I don't sleep for long. If my mood is crazy, if I have a lot on my mind, I will not go to sleep. I'll just be up watching Adult Swim all night. Like, so the doctor, Paxil is something he was like, take it at night. It can make you a little drowsy. It should help you out with your sleep a little bit and it should improve your mood, A, B, C, and D. So I was actually like a little excited when I went to go pick up my prescription that day because I was like, ooh, I'm about to get some good sleep. And okay, so the first night I took it around 8 p.m. and within like an hour, I was like very fucking drowsy. Like it's a teeny tiny little pill. I was very fucking drowsy. I'm not gonna lie. First night, I did not sleep very well because I had insane heartburn. So because I was having this heartburn that was keeping me up at night and this medication was making me groggy, I was now sleeping worse than before. So I'm not gonna lie, I was really tempted to just stop taking the medication because, like, now during the day, the next couple of days, I was feeling like fucking crazy. Like, I was feeling like a zombie. I wasn't having like panic attacks or nothing, but I was kind of feeling like a zombie. One of my best friends called me and was like, "Hey, how's it going on the medication?" And I was like, I don't feel sad, but I also don't feel happy. So yeah, that was what was going on. But around the first week mark, I started feeling more like myself. So I was really excited. So the only side effects I really started having was like the stomach issues, but I kind of switched my diet around. I started eating dinner a little earlier to kind of have it more digested. So a month went by. I'm feeling okay on the Paxil. I was still having like slight panic attacks. Like I was still having them. I had one that was really, really fucking bad. And I told my doctor about it. So I did my physical. He took my blood, urine, all of this stuff. And when my results came back, which was like 2 weeks after, he was just like, "Hey, you're not allergic to shit." Oh, mind you, they're looking for allergies because my anxiety was so bad. I was having a skin issue. I forgot what it was called. I'll like look it up and like put the word somewhere around here. But it was literally making me have like welts all over my skin. Actually, when I don't take my medication for that, that happens. So like literally my anxiety was showing up physically. Like, and that's the thing about like anxiety and depression. That's why sometimes medication is the answer if you're starting to have these crazy physical effects. Like I always felt like I had to cry. I always felt like I was going to throw up. I was feeling like my skin was crawling. So pretty much since the Paxil was kind of working, but it wasn't like really working, my doctor was like, "How about we double your dosage?" So I went from 10 milligrams to 20. Let me tell you about that 20. I started taking the 20 milligrams. I'm only in my second week taking the 20, and I am just now starting to adjust in the morning. When I tell you for like the first 4 days, I was a zombie. I was sleepy. I had brain fog. I was feeling like I was high all the fucking time, barely keeping my eyes open. Like people were like telling me jokes and shit, and I was kind of just like laughing. It was cool because like a lot of shit was going on in my life, and I wasn't getting like angry or anything about it, but I also was just like, "What's up, bro?" Like I am just now feeling better. So a month on Paxil, 2 weeks on 20 milligrams of Paxil instead of the 10 that I was on for a month. How do I feel today? Well, I'm sleeping great. Like I have the type of sleep where I fall asleep and I sleep the whole 8 hours. I wake up with my alarm going off. Like I'm like, damn, was I asleep? Damn, like good. Like I sleep very hard. I feel better during the day because my sleep is a lot better. I am taking Zysol for my scratchy craziness so I don't feel itchy all the fucking time. So that is really helping. I'm still doing all of the other things that I was doing to improve my mood before I was on medication. Am I going to sit here and lie and say I meditate every day? No. So I like don't journal or anything, but I am a pretty perceptive person when it comes to my body. And what I do is this, and I can make a video about this at another time because journaling sometimes it doesn't really work for me, and I really don't care for journaling too much. I'm not consistent with it. But one thing that I do to like check in with myself physically and like my mental health is I note what is going on in the morning. So the first thing you need to do is be like really quiet in the mornings and then pay attention to like your first pee in the morning. If your first pee is like really yellow, that is your body's way of saying like, hey, you need to drink more water. Your pee doesn't need to run clear, but it needs to be like pale yellow. If you have a very dry mouth, that's a sign that you may be dehydrated. And look at your skin as well before you put on makeup and things like that. If your skin seems dry, if your cheeks seem red, like you have to definitely pay attention throughout the day of like what your body is telling you. This is not like a new idea. This is not something that's new. This isn't like a new YouTube breakthrough of anything. Definitely just trust your body, listen to your body. For some people, meditation really helps to like pay attention to their body, but I don't meditate as much because I kind of meditate throughout the day. I'll kind of have like a quiet moment and I'll say, I have a headache. My throat feels really tight. My nose is kind of stuffy. Maybe it's something going on with my sinuses. Maybe I need to crank down my AC a little bit. So that is what life is, just kind of making different choices and doing these own little scientific experiments on yourself. Sometimes you do need a little help with medication, because I started learning no matter how much I was meditating, eating right, focusing on myself, doing all of that YouTube shit, I was still feeling sad, still having panic attacks. So that's what kind of let me know that it was a chemical thing going on in my brain, probably a response to trauma, that no shadow work or whatever was happening because it was chemical. So with that being said, the medication has helped. The old me, I deal with a very stressful job. I'm a single parent. My relationship is a little up and down at times. And then just how I react to people, being a creative person, being a very emotional person, being an empath, I'm very sensitive. The medicine has not taken that away from me. I'm still very sensitive, but how I choose to react isn't so, it's not so like emotionally responsive. And then when crazy things do happen, I don't feel the pain in my gut. I no longer have those thoughts that repeat and repeat. Like if I get into an argument, the old me would have just been stuck playing, I should have said that, I should have said that, I should have done this. Me now, I will worry about it for like 10 minutes and then I'll move on to my next thing. So I am so grateful that the medicine I feel like has created space and created balance with all of the other positive things that I'm doing as well. So that is what I have for this video. If you have any questions, any more questions on side effects, how I got the medication, if you want me to make more videos like this, please leave your questions in the comments. Also, please like, share, and comment on this video, like I just said. But also, please visit trappraylove.com and just kind of like look around, see what you like, and also add me on Instagram. This is a topic that is really near and dear to me. I also covered it on my podcast. I'm going to link the link to that. It's available on iTunes podcast or our Apple podcast. And there's also a YouTube video for it. So I'm going to link it all up. So thank you for supporting my page. And I hope that you guys are well. All right. So see you guys. Have a good day. Bye until next time.